Hey, Battle Ready family! Welcome to the Battle Ready Bible Study. Buckle up and let's get going! This series we're going to be looking at the character of King David with 5 different sessions. Session 1 being the heart of courage, Session 2 the heart of faith, Session 3 the heart of repentance, Session 4 the heart of worship, and Session 5 the heart of God. Our objective is to explore the key traits of King David's character, his faith, courage, humility, repentance, and the passion for God, and to apply those lessons to our own lives. So let's get with today's session. Hey, Battle Ready family. Thank you for joining the Battle Ready Bible Study. Listen, if you want to interact with this Bible study, you can find the link in the description. Today we're going to talk about a heart of courage. What is courage? Well, according to the Webster Dictionary, courage is the quality of mind or spirit that enables a person to face difficulty, danger, pain, etc. without fear and with bravery. This is what I call a fight or a flight moment. Fight. Dig your heels in deep, face your adversity, and say, I'm not going nowhere, and I'm going to stand against the wiles of the enemy today. Or flight. Turn around and walk away. We're going to look at the root of David's courage today, and it's found in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 34. And David said unto Saul, Thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him and smote him and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he has defiled the armies of the living God. So I have a question for you. True or false? Courage can be a learned behavior. You see, you got to understand something. While some individuals may have a natural predisposition towards courage, it is generally considered a skill that can be cultivated and practiced over the time through reflection, experience, and support from others. And that what David was doing. He was telling Saul, hey, listen here. When I was tending to my father's sheep, I came across a bear and I came across a lion. And God delivered me from the bear and the lion. And if God can deliver me from the bear and the lion, I'm pretty sure that he can deliver me from this Philistine giant. And we can see that in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 37, where David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of the Philistines. Listen, David trusted that the same God that was with him when he faced the lion and the bear would also be with him facing this Philistine giant. So do you see the importance of having courage rooted within your heart? Because the same God that brought you out of one situation has the ability, if you trust in him, to bring you out of the next situation. It was beneficial to David to face the lion and the bear in the wilderness while he was tending to his father's sheep, because it would be an advantage to David when he would face that giant. And we all know the story, don't we? He went and gathered 5 smooth stones. He went down into the valley of Elah and he faced that giant and he slew that giant with one fell swoop of a stone because his God was behind him. David would face another giant that would require an even greater courage. Yeah, greater than what he recently encountered. And this giant would be somebody that was close to him. This giant would be somebody that he worshiped with, that he fellowshiped with. This giant would be the one that offered him the armor. His name would be Saul. You can find it in Psalms 55 when David says, For it was not an enemy that reproached me, then I would have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me, then I would have hid myself from him. But it was you, a man, my equal, my guide, my acquaintance. We took sweet counsel together, and we walked unto the house of God in company. So this is something that David couldn't wrap his mind around. It was one thing to see a bear and a lion come while he was tending his father's sheep. That's expected. There's always going to be predators that are out looking for the sheep. And it would be another thing to take that same faith and that same courage that he had to face that Philistine giant. But this was a whole nother level of courage that David would have to establish when it would be a friend, a kinsman that would desire to take your life. In 1 Samuel chapter 18, verses 28 through 29, we see that Saul says to him that he knew the Lord was with David and that Michal, son's daughter, loved him. And Saul was yet the more afraid of David, and Saul became David's enemy. Think about it. The very one that David went to and says, I will fight for you. I will go down into the valley of Elah. I will face this giant. I was there when God delivered me from the lion and the bear, and I'm pretty sure that God will deliver me from this giant. And that same one that David was having this conversation with would be the same one that would desire to take his life. How would you respond? How would I respond when it's a friend or a family member or your pastor? Look at how David responds in 1 Samuel chapter 26, verse 9. And David said to Abishai, destroy him not, for who can stretch forth his hand against the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? David said furthermore, as the Lord lives, the Lord shall smite him, or his days shall come to die, and he shall descend into battle and perish. I have a question for you. How did David handle Saul's jealousy? David rose to leadership with humility and courage, even when Saul turned against him. Listen, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the obedience despite fear. Did you hear that? Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's obedience despite fear. The greatest giant that David would face would be one that he could not fight. This would be a flight, because David would entrust God, being a just God, Saul into the hands of God. He would not dare touch the anointed of King Saul. You see, the bear and the lion, that established David's courage. Goliath, that encouraged him and added to his courage. But Saul was a whole nother level. I have a multiple choice. Who was David's greatest challenge? A, the bear and the lion. B, Goliath of Gath. Or C, King Saul. You know, we will all face that fight or flight moment. It's what we do in that moment that can define us. Listen, when we are faced with our giants in our life, trust God through it all. David trusted God from the very moment he came across his first test. He trusted God in the valley, and he trusted God as he evaded Saul all those years. Fight or flight. I have a true or false for you. True or false? David would later benefit facing a lion and a bear tending sheep as he faced the giant Goliath. In closing, I ask this final question. Where do you need courage in your life right now? Where do you need courage in your life right now? What giant are you facing? I thank God that through the refiner's fire and through the storms of life, it's where we establish more faith, trust, and courage in God. Understand, we all will face our giants. We all will have our battles. Learn from one to the next, because in the end, it will cause you to be like David, to make right biblical decisions in regards to what battles to fight and what battles to flight. Hey, listen, I hope you enjoyed today's session, and I'll see you again next time. God bless you. Hey, Battle Ready family, I hope you enjoyed today's Bible study. Listen, so this first session is free. The next 4 series will be at 50% off, which we're looking at $50 per series. So that could be $50 a month, or that could be $50 for 2 months, depending on how long it takes us to do each session. And later on, we're going to go to the original price, which is $100 per session. But it will be at least a month. It won't be shorter than a month. It will be at least a month, and it will be as the Bible studies are done. So if you'd like to be a part of the Battle Ready Bible Study, you can go to the interactive link that was provided, and you could put your information in there, and you could put in the comments at the very end of the Bible study and say, yes, I would like to be a part of this. And then we could connect on how we can set you up for this. Hey, God bless you.